The likes of Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, Sayyid al-Tabi'een, Allahu Akbar. Never mind missing a prayer. With regards to the great Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, it is related for 50 years of his life, nor did he see the back of any man in prayer, and at the same time he did not miss takbir ula in prayer, meaning whenever the imam started and said Allahu Akbar, he was in the front saf and he said Allahu Akbar with the imam for 50 years of his life. The great Ibn al-Qasim stayed at the feet of the great Imam Malik. You know how long he stayed at the feet of Malik? 17 years he stayed at the feet of the great Imam Malik, Imam of Madinah al-Munawwarah. 17 years. And it so happened on one occasion, the Hujjaj of Misr came, the pilgrims of Misr came for Hajj, and they came to Madinah al-Munawwarah for ziyarah. Now amongst them was a young man whose face was covered. He came, he greeted Imam Malik with salam. And then he asked Imam Malik rahimahullah, is there a person amongst you called Ibn al-Qasim? Imam Malik pointed out Ibn al-Qasim to him. This young man whose face is covered, he now comes in the crowd, in this gathering, and he begins to kiss the forehead of Ibn al-Qasim. Ibn al-Qasim is sitting there, he can sense something, but Ibn al-Qasim doesn't know what's happening. This young person that was kissing the forehead of Ibn al-Qasim was none other than the son of Ibn al-Qasim himself. And Ibn al-Qasim did not recognize his own flesh and blood, because when he left home, he left 17 years ago, and he left in such a condition that his wife was expecting. And he told his wife, now I'm going to give my life for Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you wish to stay as my wife, then the choice is yours. And if you wish that you want a talaq and you can remarry, then I will give you talaq. But his wife chose not to separate from him. And this was the first time that he was seeing his own flesh and blood. The women were no different. The likes of Nafisa, she would fast by day and she would prostrate by night. Even on her deathbed, the day she left the world, she was fasting. And people are forcing her to break her fast. And she turns around and says to the people, I'm so surprised and shocked at you, because I have been begging Allah for 30 years of my life. This was my dua. Allah, I beg you, when you take the soul of Nafisa, take it in such a state that she is fasting for you. And it is so possible that Allah today will answer my prayer. And today you are asking me to break my fast. Hada la yakun. This is something that cannot happen. And she left the world in this condition, reciting the verses of the Quran. The likes of Sila ibn Ashim has just married Mu'adha al-Adawiyya. First night of marriage, my young friends, you know, you and I, first night of marriage, we'll probably be on the 7th heaven, seeing stars. Sila ibn Ashim has just married Mu'adha al-Adawiyya. First night of marriage, husband and wife spend the entire night before their creator in prostration. Mu'adha al-Adawiyya was such a woman that after fulfilling the rights of a husband every night, the thought would cross her mind that this is the night in which I will die and I will meet my creator, and as a result she would thereafter spend the entire night standing before her creator in worship. When it came to elevating and speaking the truth, my young friends, you had an 18-year-old called Hadid al-Zayyad. He's brought to the Zalim Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, who has slaughtered thousands before him. 18-year-old, look at the passion for speaking the truth. He stands before Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, and Hajjaj ibn Yusuf confirms, are you Hadid al-Zayyad? This 18-year-old responds, indeed. And then he says to the Zalim, the oppressor Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, O Hajjaj, ask whatever you like, I will give you an answer. I have promised the Almighty Allah 3 things. If I'm ever questioned, then I'm not gonna, here and there, like in this day and age, when you're questioned about your belief, all of a sudden people come out with porkies, terrified. He says, you ask whatever you like, I'm gonna speak the truth. If I'm tested, then I will be patient. And if Allah keeps me safe and well, then I will be grateful and prostrate in gratitude. Hajjaj ibn Yusuf asked, what is your opinion with regards to me? 18-year-old, he turns around and says to Hajjaj, you are from amongst the enemies of Allah on the land. You commit haram and you kill human beings for a joke without any valid reason. The second question, What is your opinion with regards to the Amir al-Mu'mineen, Abdul Malik ibn Marwan? This 18-year-old turned around and said to him, you know what, Hajjaj? He's worse than you. Why? Because he is the one that has employed you. So he's worse than you. So he indirectly is assisting you in your evil. My friends, this young 18-year-old, his skin was stripped from his body till he breathed his last. He did not as much as utter uff till he went and meet his creator. You know, your forefathers, the people that you belong to, the people that you are affiliated to, your roots, your forefathers were the beacons, they were the lighthouses, they were the torch bearers, they were the epitomes of guidance. Your forefathers were the world leaders. They were leading the whole of mankind in every aspect of life. Your forefathers excelled and excelled, and still further excelled, so much so that your forefathers were hundreds of years ahead of their own time.
تسألوني عن حياتي فهي